Hey, what is up? Christina here, and I hope that you've had a wonderful Thanksgiving long weekend if you're in Canada. For those of you in the States, happy Tuesday. We're back online now. But I wanted to hop in here today. I felt really lucky that I got to be part of Rank Makers Live last week. It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It was full on. We got to celebrate my girl Michelle, who won the second season of Play to Win, which is a reality TV show. So proud of her. But there were some really great trainings. I have attended Rank Makers Live and Top Earner Club or Top Earner Academy live the year before, and there's just such a wealth of knowledge. And one of the things, there's a few aha moments, but this is one that I really was looking forward to talking about because I've learned this lesson the hard way. And I'm going to share that with you because I think it's really powerful. I don't think that we should be crucified for our mistakes. I don't think that in our lifetime, we're only human. We are not perfect. And I don't think that we should be crucified for our mistakes, nor should we be scared to talk about them if we can help other people grow and learn and get through the pain of it all, right? Because here's the deal. There's been a couple of times in my life that I have acted out of pain. And I have operated out of pain, or I've had things in my life where I'm trying to teach a lesson, but I'm visibly scarred in that process. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that today really quickly for you guys and just tell you the importance of teaching a lesson from a scar that's already healed, okay? Instead of teaching a lesson from a wide open wound. Hey, Jen. And when you're emotionally charged about something, it can be very difficult, okay, to teach a lesson, to stick up for somebody. I know that whenever I've been emotionally charged, not only does my topic not come across clearly, but it becomes muddled with emotion. So I'm not able to speak from a place of wisdom. I'm speaking from a place of pain. And a lot of people can relate to that. And that's why so many people are drawn to negativity and to gossip and to listening to things that are not necessarily good for them, because people tend to have that emotional connection to drama, okay? That's like innately wired within us. But it's so important that we start teaching from a place of healing. So I want to tell you two instances. So number one, I really believe that when you get into network marketing or when you get into direct sales or you start an online business or even when you're an entrepreneur, you start to learn all of these lessons in your life. And you have to always be the bigger person, right? When you're in business for yourself, you have to be the bigger person. When you're in leadership for yourself, it is so important that you use your strength. And sometimes it takes a lot more strength to not say anything at all than it is to fight back, okay? So there were times in my business, and I truly believe that this industry is an industry where you are paid to grow and learn and develop as a human being, okay? But what I recognized in myself was that certain individuals on my team would bring out the worst in my personality. So they were the girls that would come and they would gossip or they would be negative. And I recognized that in my life, when people came and were gossiping and maybe they were saying bad things about me to fire me up, that I became very defensive. Now that triggered me back to when I was a teenager and I didn't have a voice. I was bullied really badly as a teenager where I didn't have a voice. And I felt like I should be able to stick up for myself, but I couldn't. And there were a couple of times where my life I felt was in danger. And that gave me adult PTSD, and I didn't realize that I was living with that. So I started growing a team and I started getting triggered. And you know what? I noticed this in my life because when I was in the salon environment, the same thing would happen. There'd be all this gossip and negativity, and I would be emotionally charged and emotionally drained. So if you were an empathic person, you will totally resonate with what I'm saying. And so I get emotionally charged and be emotionally drained in that situation. So what I was noticing in my business is that there were a couple of individuals and that started creating the drama, or would start with the negativity, or it said, you can only talk to me if you are on my side of things. It was very high school. And I recognized that that was going on in my business. And I recognized that it was triggering things in me that brought back a feeling of anxiety. I also started making more and more money, and I started feeling anxiety with the more money that was coming into my bank account, because I was raised in a family where money was hard work, and money was something that we didn't have a ton of extra of, right? And that people that were wealthy were bad, they were evil, they must have stepped on people's toes to get to where they were, right? So I started innately feeling these feelings of anxiety and self-hate and self-sabotage, and I couldn't figure out why. And I recognized that it was the people that I was putting myself around that was contributing to that factor. But when I was reacting with emotion. I was reacting because of pain, because I was being triggered back for my, 14, 15, 16-year-old self. So I went and got therapy. I spent a lot of money and I got a lot of therapy, because I felt like if I was going to grow in this business as a leader, number one, I had to learn to communicate with people that I didn't particularly like. I also had to learn how to communicate with people who didn't communicate the same way that I did. And I had to learn how to listen better, actively listen, so that I could communicate what was important to the person I was speaking to. Okay? But I couldn't teach these lessons from a place of pain. When I was on fire, when I was emotionally charged, I couldn't teach those lessons without healing the wound so that I wasn't charged up in that situation, okay? About a year ago, and I'm going to give this as an example. About a year ago, I ran into a mom that I was really hurt by. And I did a video in a place of pain. I came home and I tried to talk to my husband about it. And he's like, oh, who cares about her? Like, don't worry about it. I tried to make an appointment with my therapist because I knew that I was being triggered. But something else happened that day from a team member, and she was also being bullied by an adult woman. And so I was emotionally charged. I was defensive. I was also fighting for somebody else, but from a place of pain. And when I did that video, you could tell that I was visibly upset. And instead of getting my point across in that, you know what? We're all here. We're all learning. We all need to support each other. And if somebody, doesn't see that side, maybe they're not meant to be in your circle. You can still love and support them from afar. We've all heard the term bless and release. We can do that. But it comes from a place of strength, and it comes from a place when you've already healed. You can't talk about healing and giving love and showing love and being neutral when you're in a pain point. And I learned that lesson in that video because I shouldn't have done it when I was emotionally charged, when I was still triggered by the incident, when I still was upset with that person, because now, a year later, I'm not upset with that person anymore. I was emotionally charged from a situation, and she was too. And I think that when you take a step back, that was not a good time to teach. The lesson, I did mean well, Amanda, and I think you probably remember that video because I remember you being on it, and I remember it being impactful to you. But I remember being in a place that I wasn't able to communicate clearly what I wanted because I was so upset. And that, I look back on that, I hurt myself. I hurt other people that I didn't intend to hurt. And I caused a scene and some drama that I inevitably, I will take full responsibility for because I never should have done the video, right? But here I am a year later, and I'm admitting that to you. And I think in our lifetime, there are going to be difficult situations that we overcome. We are going to grow. We are going to make mistakes. We're going to make a hell of a lot of mistakes. But when you can look to that situation when you made a mistake, you can apologize for it. You can grow from it, you can learn from it, and then when you're healed, you can share that experience with somebody else and help them grow through it so that they don't feel so alone, they don't feel so hurt, they don't feel so attacked, and it's so personal, because all of these instances that we teach about are things that have happened hundreds of thousands of times. Your situation is no different from somebody else. It's how you deal with that situation, it's how you communicate, and it's how you help others through the same thing without them having to go through the pain that you did, right? So I learned very valuable lessons when I taught and was triggered in pain points. I learned very valuable lessons when I'm emotional, not to teach a lesson, but instead sit on it, learn in the background, be healed, and then come and help other people heal in that same place. And I think that is such an important lesson for all of us. So when I heard it again, teach from a scar, not from a wound, this past week at Rank Makers Live, it really hit home for me. And instead of beating myself up and being so been mad at myself that I made that mistake, that I was weak and it caught me in a bad moment. I learned from it. I'm here to share it with you. I'm here to show you that we all make mistakes, and that those moments are actually moments that we can take to heal and grow. And I don't think that we should sit around and beat ourselves up over it. I just think that we should apologize when we have to, or when we should. Don't apologize when you feel bad and you have nothing to apologize for, by the way. That's a big lesson, because I've done that before. I felt bad for somebody and apologized. Don't do that either. But knowing that when you come from a place with good intentions, that you have to teach a lesson when you've already healed from the process. And that's such an important thing, or else your lesson will be lost and there'll be no point in teaching it in the first place. So I hope that helps somebody today. I hope that it hit home for you. And I hope that it those humbling moments that you have as life lessons, you don't need to beat yourself up about it years and years and years, right? Like, just accept, learn. Now that you know better, you'll do better. Have an awesome, awesome, awesome Tuesday. Again, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have a lot to be thankful for this year. I certainly do. And we'll see you again. Bye for now.